Hello everyone, it's Glenda and welcome back to my channel, Creative Grandma. It's Stitch of the Week time, and this week's stitch is called the Split Shell Stitch. It's a 1-row repeat and it's a multiple of 6 plus 3. So I have 3 samples to show you today. So here is my first sample. You can see how beautiful this pattern is. It's light, it's airy, it's lacy, it's perfect for spring, summer projects. And best of all, it's still nice and toasty when you get it made. So this is the front, and when you turn it over, this is the back. So it looks the same on the back as it does the front. So my first sample was made using the Lion brand landscape yarn. This is one of my favorite yarns. I love this yarn. It's easy to work with. And this is the color Boardwalk 201AZ. So let me show you my second sample. My second sample is just a pure white sample. I love doing the white samples because I just think it has a classic look. This is the back, and when you turn it over, this is the front. So again, it's going to look the same on the front as it does on the back. This sample was made using Premier's Premier Basic. It's a number 4 worsted weight yarn. It comes in a large 7-ounce skein, and this is a very good value yarn. And I'm using the color white 1115-01. So if you want that classy look, you can just use white. My third sample, I used a speckled yarn just to show you what a multicolored yarn would look like. This sample was made using the Department 71 Fancy Freckles. I believe I purchased this on Hirschner's. And this is the color Sunny Day. And here's the color number 710995-0004. I thought this would make a beautiful little baby blanket. Now, when you look at this sample, this is a 3 lightweight yarn, so you can really see the difference of how delicate this looks when you use that lighter weight yarn, which I absolutely love, versus the larger 4-weight yarn. So this is the 4-weight yarn, and this is the 3-weight. So what a difference of how delicate it really looks. So that is why I like to show all 3 samples, at least 3 samples, so you can see how different a yarn can make a stitch pattern look. So this is a very easy 1-row repeat. So let's get started. For today's crochet tutorial, I'm going to use one of my favorite Premier cotton yarns. This is called the Cotton Sprout Speckles. It comes in a 194-yard ball, 178 meters, 3 ounces, 85 grams. It's 100% cotton, and it's a number 3 lightweight yarn. And this is a wash and dryable yarn. The color I'm using is 2086-02 Candy. Look at those beautiful spring colors. You're also going to need a size H8 or 5mm crochet hook. So grab your yarn, grab your hook, and let's get this pattern stitch started. To begin, I already have my yarn attached to my hook, and I just used a double knot. I want to remind everyone all my crochet tutorials are filmed using USA crochet terms. Now the multiple is 6 plus 3. So we're going to chain 6 3 times for 18, and then we're going to add 3 more chains for a total of 21. So again, we're going to begin and chain 21. You're going to yarn over, pull through the loop on your hook, and this creates your first chain. The loop on your hook does not count as a chain. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21. So now, since we have our chain of 21 chains, now we're ready to begin row 1. For row 1, we're going to skip the first 5 chains. 1, 2, 3, that will count as the first double crochet. 4 and 5, and these 2 chains count as the 2 chains on the foundation chain. So again, we're skipping the first 5 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and into the 6th chain, we're going to work a double crochet. You're going to yarn over the hook, insert into the 6th chain from hook, yarn over and pull through. You have 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. You just made a double crochet. You're going to double crochet back into that same chain. You're going to chain 1, double crochet back into the same chain, chain 1, and then work 2 more double crochet back into the same chain. 1, and 2. So when you look at your work, you're going to have 5 skip chains and then 2 double crochet, a chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, and 2 double crochet into the 6th chain from hook. We're going to skip the next 2 chains and into this next chain work a double crochet. So now we're ready to begin our repeat. So if you're working on a wider project, then this is where you're going to start your repeat, where I say this is the start of the repeat, and work until I say this is the end of the repeat, and you're going to repeat that across to the end of the row. So let's go ahead and start the repeat. We're going to skip the next 2 chains, into the next chain, work 2 double crochet. 1, and 2. You're going to chain 1, then double crochet back into that same chain, chain 1, and then work 2 more double crochet back into that same chain. 1, and 2. You're going to skip the next 2 chains and into the next chain work 1 double crochet. And that is the end of the repeat. So we have 1 repeat to go. So let's go ahead and do the repeat again. You're going to skip the next 2 chains, into the next chain, work 2 double crochet. 1, and 2. You're going to chain 1, double crochet back into that same chain, chain 1, and then work 2 more double crochet back into that same chain. 1, and 2. You're going to skip the next 2 chain, and you're ending with a double crochet into the last chain across. So if you're working on a wider sample or a wider project, then you're just going to continue and you're going to skip 2 chains, work 2 double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet into the next chain, skip 2 chains, and then double crochet into the next chain. So when you do the repeat across your work, you're ending with a double crochet into that last chain. So row 1 is finished, and now we're going to do row 2. Now row 2 will be the repeat row that you repeat over and over again. To begin row 2, you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. You're going to turn your work. The beginning chain 3 counts as this first stitch. You're going to skip the next 2 stitches, and into the next chain 1 space, you're going to work 2 double crochet. 1, and 2. You're going to chain 1, and then you're going to double crochet into the top of that center double crochet stitch. You're going to chain 1. Now you're going to work 2 double crochet into that next chain 1 space. 1 and 2. You're going to skip the next 2 double crochet, and we're starting our repeat in this single double crochet stitch here. So after you skip the 2 double crochet, start your repeat in the single double crochet between the 2 shell stitches. Work 1 double crochet into the top of that double crochet stitch. You're going to skip the next 2 double crochet into the next chain 1 space, work 2 double crochet. 1 and 2. Chain 1 and then double crochet right into the center double crochet of that shell stitch. Chain 1 and then work 2 double crochet into the next chain 1 space. 1, whoops, have a knot, don't like knots, double crochet back into that chain 1 space, and that's 2. You're going to skip the next 2 double crochet stitches, and that is the end of the repeat. You're going to start your repeat into the top of the next double crochet stitch. Double crochet into the top of that double crochet in between the shell stitches. You're going to skip the next 2 double crochet and work 2 double crochet into that next chain 1 space. 1 and 2. You're going to chain 1 and then double crochet right into the center double crochet of that shell stitch. Chain 1 and then work 2 double crochet into the next chain 1 space. 1 and 2. And then you end the repeat by skipping the next 2 stitches. So that leaves you over at your turning chain. So you're going to end the row by putting 1 double crochet into the top of the turning chain. Yarn over the hook, skip the next 2 stitches, insert into that top chain, work a double crochet. Row 2 is finished, and you can see how your pattern is forming. Now this called for a size H hook, but I think I would drop that hook even 1 more size because this is a little too lacy for my liking, but it does give you the concept of how this stitch is made. You see your shell stitch below, and then when you work your shell stitch in the next row, you're putting your 2 double crochet into the chain 1 space. You chain 1, double crochet into the center double crochet, chain 1, and work 2 double crochet into that next chain 1 space, which creates the shell stitch. Then you're putting 1 double crochet in between the shell stitches right into that single double crochet. So let's go ahead and do row 2 one more time. So to do row 2 again, you're going to chain 3 and you're going to turn your work. The beginning chain 3 counts as the first stitch. You're going to skip the next 2 stitches into the next chain 1 space, work 2 double crochet. 1 and 2. You're going to chain 1. Then you're going to work 1 double crochet right into the center double crochet. Chain 1, and then into the next chain 1 space, work 2 double crochet. 1 and 2. And then you're going to skip the next 2 stitches. You're going to start your repeat in that single double crochet between the 2 shell stitches. So let's begin the repeat. Again, you skip those 2 stitches, start the repeat in this double crochet into the top of that double crochet, skip the next 2 double crochet, and into the next chain 1 space, work 2 double crochet, 1 and 2, chain 1, and then double crochet into the center double crochet, chain 1, and then work 2 double crochet into that next chain 1 space, 1 and 2, and then you're going to skip the next 2 stitches, and then you're going to start your repeat in that double crochet that stands alone in between the shell stitches. So again, if you're working on a wider project, you just start where I say this is the start of the repeat, work until I say this is the end of the repeat, across until you have just the turning chain remaining. So let's do the repeat again. You already skipped these 2 stitches, so you're starting the repeat in the double crochet between the shell stitches. Work 1 double crochet into the top of that double crochet stitch, skip the next 2 double crochet into the next chain 1 space, work 2 double crochet, 1 and 2. You're going to chain 1 and then double crochet into that center double crochet of the shell stitch, chain 1, and then work 2 double crochet into that chain 1 space, 1 and 2. And then you're going to skip the next 2 double crochet. So you should be over at your turning chain. So you're going to skip the last 2 double crochet stitches and work 1 double crochet into the top chain of that turning chain. So you can start at the bottom, count up 1, 2, 3, yarn over, insert into that top chain, and work your double crochet. And that's how easy it is to do the split shell stitch. Now again, this hook size is what was recommended on the label, but I think I would drop my hook size 1 or even 2 hook sizes if you're going to use this yarn, because I wanted a more delicate look. I wanted it closer together. So to get this look, you're going to have to drop that hook size down. And that's why it's important the hook size you use, the yarn you use for the results you want. So again, if you want to use this yarn, I would definitely drop this hook size down so you get a more close together look, more delicate look with the stitch pattern. So to continue working on your sample, you're just going to repeat row 2 over and over again. Now what I like to do is I do like to put a finishing row on my work when I'm done. So I'm going to show you how to put a finishing row that matches the first row on the foundation chain. So the foundation chain matches the last row, and that is optional if you want to do the finishing row. To do the finishing row, I chain 1 and I turn my work. You skip that beginning chain 1, you're going to insert into that first stitch under both of those top 2 loops, work a single crochet. You're going to chain 2, and then you're going to go over to your center double crochet of the shell stitch. You're skipping 2 double crochet, you're skipping the chain 1 space, insert into the top of that double crochet, work a single crochet. You're going to chain 2. You're going to skip the chain 1 space, skip the next 2 double crochet, and in the top of that double crochet, insert your hook under both of those top 2 loops, work a single crochet. Chain 2, Skip the next 2 stitches, skip the next chain 1 space, and single crochet into the top of that center double crochet. Chain 2. You're going to skip the chain 1 space, skip the next 2 double crochet, and into that double crochet that stands alone, insert your hook and work a single crochet. Chain 2, skip the next 2 double crochet, skip the next chain 1 space, and single crochet into the top of that center double crochet. And if you notice, we're single crocheting into the double crochets that stand alone, the center double crochet and the double crochet in between the shell stitches. Chain 2, you're going to skip the next chain 1 space, skip the last 2 double crochet, and into the top of the turning chain, count up 1, 2, 3, insert into that top chain, and work a single crochet. And again, the finishing row is optional. It just makes the last row match the foundation row. And that's how easy it is to do the split shell stitch. So again, you can use a number 4 weight. You get a beautiful look with the self striping. You can use classic white. You can use one of those delicate 3 weight yarns, but really drop the hook size down so you get that beautiful tighter finish. And again, if you want a lacier look, maybe for a shawl, then use the bigger hook. I just prefer the smaller hook and have this type of look to my work. Now, I want to remind everyone, all my Stitch of the Week patterns are free. They are on my website. You can click on Stitch of the Week, scroll down to Stitch of the Week number 140, the split shell stitch, and you click on the name of the stitch, and it opens the file where you can print or download the pattern to follow along with the video. So I want to thank everybody for stopping by today. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of the crochet fun here on Creative Grandma's channel. So until next time, stay inspired and happy crocheting. Bye, everyone.